Beyond that, which was remarkable, by the way, what else do they mean?
He seems genuinely puzzled. He says, I honestly never really understood that archaic saying.
Tell me, what does Potter owe me now that I've ennobled him and risen his status above that of his fellows?
Well, I would say he owes you quite a good deal.
Yes, and I've put him in the power to bring me that great deal that he owes. One hand washed the other. He will soon return that favor when the time comes. Now, do you see why I did what I did?
He seems to mull over what you've said. It hasn't changed his sort of stubborn, childish pout any, though. So it's one of those things where you're just going to have to wait and see if it actually sunk in or not, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gives you like a casual shrug, like, once again, I think you are too wedded to old ideas of chivalry, brother. But far be it from me to tell you how to treat your underlings. One hand washes itself. The old one-hander. Really, you just need a bucket. Bucket with some suds, and then solved.
Best of luck. I will, of course, show you no quarter as appropriate to a tournament, of course.
Of course, I would expect nothing less, and you should expect nothing less from me. I'll see you on the field, brother.
See you there, brother.
I shall attend to you tomorrow. Now I have to actually sleep at night.
Yeah.
You get paid for it.
Nocturnal like me.
Are armadillos? I thought they were nocturnal.
I am nocturnal.
Yeah, we're nocturnal.
Yeah, but he's got to be up in the morning. He's got to be pulling duty.
I have to actually watch these fights.
Indeed. Okay, this is good. This is some drama. All right. So the next day breaks, and we are going to get to see Arthur in action, as the Red Knight is scheduled for one of the first bouts of the tournament. He has been paired against a particularly formidable horse of the Sabat family, who is well armored and has won both of his bouts from the previous day. He'll stride out with a show of chivalrous humility, as is to be expected from one of the eldest noble houses of the Avoirdupois, and he is met with raucous applause from those in the stands. By contrast, the Red Knight appears with hoots and coos and hollers from a mostly young, mostly female crowd on his side of the stadium, of the ring, I suppose. And Connor, you are there among them, feeling just very out of place, but keeping him within optimal distance for emergency healing. And I think you're probably going to get your chance, but let's see. Let's find out. I would like to have Connor give a roll for... Ooh, and you know what? We had Arthur's stat block out before, but rather than copy it to you, I'm just going to tell you what he's going to roll. But you can do the rolling for him. He's fighting with 3d6 to hit. He does have veteran as well, so he can take a d12. His opponent is going to be rolling 2d8 and a d12 for his veteran.
Ooh.
Whoop, there's the 8.
Oh,
Okay, and a
he's getting whooped.
7. He's getting whooped.
I guess he had the potential to reroll that 1, but that doesn't help him.
Yeah. I'll let you reroll the 1. I guess you're right. That's not going to save him because it's a d6, so it couldn't help him.
Yep. And I guess for roll a d6 for his will.
Yeah.
Real quick. Because this is going to determine how well he's protected. He has 3 points of protection, so he should be reasonably protected from whatever damage is going to happen to him on this.
Cool. Okay.
But he does fail.
Yeah, he does fail. So the bout goes off. He's attacking kind of fast, maybe a little bit carelessly, in sort of a show-offy sort of manner. You can see that his movements are maybe a little sluggish, and this is possibly to do with the drinking from the night before. Against which you did try to stop. That's true. Hey, it could have been worse than it was, I guess. But yeah, against a typical armed opponent, maybe a bandit or someone who hadn't had formal training, it's clear that Arthur could wipe the floor with them. But this is a seasoned fighter and a veteran of tournaments, and basically, it seems like Arthur never stood a chance. The first blow is brutal; it almost knocks him on his ass. The second blow that comes through would have drawn blood and left some sort of injury if it wasn't for the healing light of Sa'alumer working its magic and keeping Arthur in the ring. Arthur seems to have lost any semblance of prestige or of flair and just begins to wail on this guy over and over. Eventually, the knight yields. He chooses to yield. He steps back, he throws down his sword, he says, young sir, you are a spirited fighter, but you're in danger of dishonoring your family attacking as such. I will yield this combat to you for your bravery, but I suggest that you take this victory and leave the tournament now. There's a lot of booing from the crowds at this turn of events, and the proud horse will march off the field. And Arthur seems a little bit disappointed. He's not getting the hoots and hollers that he was expecting, the cries of adoration, just left with a pretty disappointed crowd. So he picks up his weapon, and he'll sort of march off into the stands. And I imagine you'll be there to intercept him.
I will.
Yes.
Yeah, we're both here. The doctor's probably just like giving me like a bit of a stern look right now.
He says, "What? I had him.
You most certainly did not.
I won the fight, didn't I?"
I count 2 hits on your back when you lunge to attack.
He gave you the chance to retreat with your honor still somewhat intact. And were he to know what had transpired, no doubt you would have none left. You should take this and at least rest before your pride ends up hurt too. Come, we'll talk.
Yeah, he says, "I don't have anything to say to you. I shall rest before my next bout." And you can tell he has no intention of... Well, definitely no intention of speaking to you, no intention of dropping out or heeding the advice of the noble horse knight. You just get a very bad feeling about what's going to happen next.
He's very reckless, your brother.
Right.
Was he always this angry?
I think he feels I betrayed him.
I'm sure, but I believe this is perhaps deeper than merely one incident. A flaw in character, more than anything.
You're speaking about any other man, I might get upset, but I see where you're coming from.
No intent to insult your family or anything. But he doesn't need to work through it.
Family. He's only a small part of it.
I know. I don't mean it as an insult. We should still talk to him. maybe we can work this out somehow, or at least calm him into better wisdom.
I'm willing to try.
Connor? No, never mind.
No, please go
I
on.
just sold off the calming medicine too, damn it.
Oh,
I'm such a fool.
man, that would have been pretty
There you
funny.
go.
Wow.
Do no harm, do no harm.
Wait, I have something to help you. Here, take this.
Oh, what is this?
It's a flyer that you can buy wine. Crazy Witch in the Woods.
That was also my other suggestion. Like, Connor, would you like to throw by drinking your brother into the ground?
Hey,
Kidnap him, bring him home.
be
Win the
used for those
tournament, both
endurance
goals.
skills. To kidnap him, bring him home. I win the tournament. Both goals accomplished. Cha-cha.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't seem like he's in the mood to speak to either of you right now. I think you want to give him at least an hour to cool down. But these are all possibilities. In the meantime, I think Harmon is going to have another bout. This time he's facing off against the Yellow Knight, who you have determined to be Sir Irwin, an elderly dog who is a well-decorated soldier. And he has already won the heart of the crowd, who are pretty much everybody here knows who he is. The whole Mystery Night thing is more of a... It's almost like a formality. Yeah, it's like a little bit of air of mystery, but he does have fans in the stands, and he has made a reputation for himself. So let's see. Defender of avoirdupois virginity. Okay, all right. And once again, Harmon, you have your entertainers can take their rote, and you are met again with puzzlements. The crowd is certainly hype, and you have more fans now than you started with due to your last crushing victory. But yeah, people are divided. Sir Irwin kind of has this earnest history behind him, and even though you stand more than twice his height, maybe that's a lot, but at least twice his height, still has stalwart defenders. So let's make with the rolls. He's going to be doing 2d8 and a d12 for veteran, since we're including our veteran skills here. All right. It's actually a pretty good contest, very back and forth. He holds his own against you. You can see that he knows to stay out of your reach and wait for his openings to dart in. There's once or twice that you think he might also even land a blow. However, it doesn't happen. You defend and you overpower him. I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's quite impressive, again, that this guy fared as well as he did, but
Harmon is actually finding peers now.
Yeah. In unlikely places. The thing is, it doesn't even come to a final blow or wound after about three minutes of this of these back and forth clashes. He will step back. He's going to lower his sword and give you a bow. He has yielded, and you haven't really broken a sweat yet. But I assume you'll probably take the victory, right? You'll just take the win. Of course. Unless paid to do so, of course. So he will, through panting breaths and through the muffling of his helmet, he will say, "You are truly a fearsome and worthy fighter. I hope we never shall meet as enemies on the battlefield, though I would welcome you as a comrade." And he gives you a low bow, and cheer goes up from the crowd. And a cheer goes up for you as well. This was a real feel-good fight for everyone involved. And I would say, Harmon, that your general status among the fans has definitely improved. Okay.
Out of curiosity, with the way like the tournament is going, whenabouts will the Red Knight face Herman?
Oh, well, wouldn't you know it? The Red Knight is scheduled to face Harmon during the third day of the tournament.
Okay, that's what I was kind of expecting, because Harmon's done 2 fights, and then Red Knight's going to do 1 more today. So if all else goes poorly, Harmon, I do have some instructions for you to beat him into submission, so we'll cover that when the time comes.
All right.
And did I already do my 2 fights?
No, not yet. We still need Connor to have his fight. Connor.
Yeah, Connor, you're still up.
It's your turn, Connor. Let's see who you're fighting. Okay. You have been matched against the Blue Knight, Sir Dorian. You've been given information from the doctor. Sir Dorian is a fox, and he's also managed to do fairly well for himself in this tournament. He will also be rolling 2d8 and a d12, although he's gonna have to roll high, real high. Okay. Ew, and he just doesn't make it. Sir Dorian attacks with a frightful flurry of quick strikes and parries. But Connor, you're a two-handed fighter, and you get the upper hand on him with a spectacular flurry of blows that ushers gasps of astonishment at your skill from the crowds. When you defeat him, he fights to the bitter end. You end up landing a nice gash on an exposed arm under his blue armor, his plate mail. But he still presses on. It's only when you have him on the ropes, so to speak, and you shout for him to yield that he finally does, in fact, yield and throw down his weapon. And you breathe a small sigh of relief that you did not have to further injure this fox.
Yeah, I'd definitely give him a good deep muscle bruise if he pressed the issue.
Okay. So, as the day is drawing to a close, there's only one fight remaining. They are beginning to announce the victors and the losers from the day's event, and they have just about finalized the schedule for the end of the tournament. It would appear that currently the last fights of the day are going to be the last fight scheduled is going to be Harmon and an unknown based on the outcome of the last fight. And before that, there is going to be Connor and the Red Knight. Dun dun dun. And before that, the Red Knight faces off against the Black Knight. And this is contingent, of course, on the final fight, which is the Black Knight facing off against a champion of who have we got here? Let's say another Crinier champion. Actually, no, say it's the same one. It is the Crinier champion who told Arthur that he should throw in the towel. So the last fight of the tournament looks like it's going to be you, Harmon, and an unknown. It might be Connor, it might be Arthur, it might be another contestant, but we're going to find that out. And part of that is going to be dependent on this last fight here between the Black Knight and the Crinier champion. The Black Knight is obviously not a horse, possibly a canine of some kind. He's got long, lanky limbs, and he's covered head to toe in black armor. As they begin, he gets the jump on the Crinier champion, who is still in the process of paying his respects to the man and to the crowd, and he gets a lucky swipe in. You can see the Sir Crinier. He's touching the spot of his wound. He's checking it, and it seems that yes, he has indeed drawn blood. So he redoubles his efforts. It is a vicious battle. You can tell that this Black Knight is quite an accomplished fighter, although he's already has the crowd turned against him from that cheap move at the beginning. The battle goes back and forth. The Crinier champion is knocked to the ground. You can see that he's yielded. He has tossed his blade aside, but the Black Knight kicks him hard across the snout. He knocks his helmet away, and in response, the Crinier champion will kind of give him a quick headbutt, knocking his black helmet off of his head. And it was just once I'd like to see the White Knight do this shit, indeed. So yes, so there's a slight gasp from the crowd. It draws all of your attention to this Black Knight, and you realize that under his black armor is gleaming white fur and a strange pink eye, accompanied by a black eye patch, and you realize that it is none other than Delavega, Santiago, the head of the... Gasp. Yes, the head of the Triskellion Royal Guard. He has defeated this Crinier, who now quite bloodied and injured, gets up onto his feet and limps away. Delavega seems unfazed by the jeers and boos coming from the stands around him. I know. Yeah. The Dark Horse. You would have been able to spot the Dark Horse from a mile out, though. He is a giant after all. But no.
Then the fans eating popcorn.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
He's not rich enough. What do you think he is?
He's taken up like a whole half of a bench. All right, yeah. So Delavega will just sort of like jeer back at the crowd, and then he'll walk off and yes, you guys are left. That was the end of the tournament. They do the final rites for the day's events. Sitting next to an unemployed tiger bodyguard, indeed. But so yeah, I'm gonna say, Doctor, you probably get a little bit of that feeling in the pit of your stomach. You realize once again that Delavega is his first fight for tomorrow is against the Red Knight, none other than Sir Arthur. And you realize that his chances, while never great to begin with, have just gone down a notch or two.
Well, I was hoping he would get some comeuppance, but I would hope it'd be controlled comeuppance.
Screw comeuppance. We should just kidnap him while we're here.
I mean, that's what I'll probably suggest once I talk to him and he says no.
Well, do we have any mandate to kidnap him? Do we have like an arrest warrant for him?
No.
No, his father is just asking us to make sure he comes back safe. And he said that to his son. Oh, Vega? No, we have nothing to do with Vega. Or at least I don't. You guys do. You have history.
Don't we have evidence that he's treasonous?
I mean, do you have evidence that he's treasonous? He has not done anything treasonous for the crown of Triskellion.
He tried to burn down a town, but you're pretty sure that was the work of the higher-ups giving the order anyway.
Yeah, we hate him, but he has legal mandate. All right, yeah. And we already gave away the sedative, so we can't just drug him and like dump him in the river.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you know the sedative was going to be was going to be key this session?
But I'm going to go to Arthur, and I believe Connor probably will come too, won't he?
Yes.
Arthur has calmed down. When you find him this time in his tent, he's not drinking. There are no girls present. He seems to be furiously practicing against a target dummy, essentially.
Arthur.
What? He says between breaths and between swings of the longsword.
The dummy's drawn enough blood for today.
Ugh. Okay, that pisses him
Trying
off.
not to laugh, really. Connor's trying not to laugh.
He's gonna, yeah. He turns and he throws the sword down. He's not wearing his full plate. He's wearing kind of like his gambitson, his Under Armour
Yeah, the stuff
now.
underneath it, and all. He's
Yeah, but
relaxing.
He wheels onto you, and you can just see seething anger on his face. He's like, "What? What is it now? What can I do for you, good sir, whose name has escaped me?"
Well, I think it's perhaps time we talk then, isn't it?
I have nothing
We
more to
all witnessed
say
your
to you.
performance.
Yes, about I won, I shall remind you.
About you only won because of your insistence to. The light of San Lumiere does not shine upon those who are ill sports. And while you may have won at the mercy of your opponent deciding to save your honor for yourself and let you have your pride, I can guarantee you your next opponent will not do so. And you would not have my assistance either for it. Perhaps you've already heard of his own bout. He will cut your throat.
I care not who he is. I will prove myself in this tournament, or I will die trying.
That is not a
Will not
wish
be
you
having
want to make for yourself. Connor, what did you say?
Oh, we'll not be having that. No.
Yeah, that angers him more. He says, "I don't need to be coddled by my family. I will win and lose by my own skill, but I have no fear of losing. I am sure
Arthur,
that I will win."
your training
Yes,
is so
maybe.
insufficient. Can you not see? You cannot win against your opponent. You cannot win against a child. You couldn't even win against an old man like me.
He says, "I was raised never to bring my sword down on those lesser than me, lest they had committed an irredeemable offense. So I will give you one opportunity to take that back."
Strike me if you can, then. And if you cannot, then submit.
Ooh, that is so good. All right. He's going to attack,
Yeah.
but he's enraged.
I'll
I'm going to
do it.
give you a d8 bonus to your defense.
Nice. So, I'm a pacifist. I have a
Yeah.
staff. I'm just gonna tap coward. I'm not gonna strike back at him. I don't care. I got the D8 and I got a D6 body, and that's all I got. I know how to actually hit people.
No, that's perfect. You are born for defense, and he's only rolling 3d6. So yeah, not even. Yeah,
Not even close.
I think he lunges at you, and you could sidestep. And if you choose, you could trip him. You could send him face first on the floor if you choose.
I will.
All right. He lands rough. It's not a good landing. It's sort of everybody in the area cringes a little bit when they see that landing because it's not graceful. His sword goes skittering away along the floor, and he turns on you, and his eyes are filled with hate. He's looking up at the both of you, and he says, Get out of my tent!"
There's not one single bit of dirt you could move me from.
Jumps to his feet, and he says, "Fine then I shall leave," and he storms out.
A slight improvement, Sir Connor.
Yes, Arthur's only defining characteristic is that he does not give up. As proven by his last fight. Even if you only defend, it seems like he'd just beat on you all day. He would.
That's what you're good at.
And he probably could defend against him all day. Like, he'd probably just keep whacking at you until he just gave out, had no energy left, and he just collapsed in tears.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys going after him? Are you going to let him storm out?
You should perhaps follow your brother.
Yeah, we're following.
I'll follow at a further distance. This is now Connor's speech.
And I'll follow an even further distance.
Yeah, you're our eyes in the sky.
And I'll
Harmon
stay in
stays
my
in his
tent.
tent, of course.
Okay. All right. Not wearing his red armor, I guess Arthur feels liberated to just go anywhere he wants. And he's going to get out of the tents and the fairgrounds. He's heading into town proper, and he's looking for a tavern or a bar. The louder and more crazed, I guess, the better. You think that maybe, if you had to guess, that he's looking to start a fight. But Connor, you're welcome to intervene at any point.
Yeah, let's try to catch him, put a hand on his shoulder. Like, you don't want to do this.
And he knocks your hand away, and he says, "Stand back, brother. I would not fight you outside the tournament, but I will if I must."
You will fight for your right to be a stubborn brat. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
He says, "I've said all that I have to say to you. The only thing left is for my is for you to speak to my claws." And he extends his tiny raccoon claws, and he adopts like an attacking stance, I'm ready when you are.
The brawl begins.
The brawl begins. You could brawl him. You could try to talk him down. It's going to be exceptionally hard, but that would be a negotiation. Probably will a negotiate.
Nah, just knock his lights out. Do it.
Well, I only have a D4 for my species die. He has a D6. I'm going to be better off trying to negotiate with him. So guard and negotiate.
Okay, you'll want 3 successes on this one.
Two, that's all I could get.
Right, all that you could get. Okay. You make the best argument you can possibly think of.
Ooh, personality.
I guess you could. Right? That would be a good use for it, too.
Has it been a day since...
it's been several days.
Okay, then I'll use personality on this, definitely.
Cool.
It's a brazen thing to do, trying to get in the way of a surly young man.
Hey, there you go. All right. So you try to talk him down, right? You make your case. You say that this won't accomplish anything. And he says, "It will accomplish my ends." And he throws himself at you. You stand aside. Let's say you dodge the blow. And I don't know. Do you have anything you'd like to say for this particular negotiation? I shouldn't be putting words in Connor's mouth.
Yeah, let's see. Can't you see what a fool you're being right now? Anything what else there might be to say after that? That's a good action's worth of speech.
Okay. All right. So, I guess that was enough to sort of break through to him all of the defenses that he had put up, all of the frustration. Finally breaks him. He lunges at you again, but there's no strength behind it, and he instead sort of crashes into your arms, and it seems less like an attack, and more like a hug, a desperate. He's like a drowned man who is using you as driftwood to safety, and you can tell that he's sobbing now in your arms, and he says, "I know I will likely die tomorrow, but I can't run away."
Father forbids that you die today or tomorrow.
He looks at you and he says, "Would you obey Father's orders, or would you obey, or would you serve the honor of our clan, of our family line?"
I would salvage what honor we have left after your performance after your loss.
Are you saying that you would stand by me and let me finish this tournament?
As long as you do not seek to end yourself in battle, you listen to the good doctor and do what he tells you. If you feel a tap on your back, then yield. Show some grace as a nobleman.
Okay. He composes himself. And he straightens up. And then he gives you a proper hug this time, and he says, thank you for letting me stay. All I ever wanted was to be a strong fighter like you, brother.
You will in your own time.
Okay.
Just given the skill I've seen of this Delavega, I do not think it bodes well for you. In winning, surviving, these tournaments are set up so that you will survive if you are still careful. So please do be careful.
He says, I will do my best. Perhaps seems like you know this the Black Knight. Maybe we could talk strategy. If there's anything that you could tell that could I would be glad for any guidance you would provide, brother.
Might be a weird question, but is Delavega left or right-handed?
Ooh, that is a good question. Let's say left-handed. Let's say left-handed, and he's
tend to fight left-handed, or at least the ones I build, because it's harder to fight against.
That's
So
the thing.
he'll give his brother some tips on fighting left-handers.
I think, yeah. He's left-handed. He's blind in his right eye, and he's a fencer. And I've always heard that fencers have the advantage if they're left-handed. And one thing you guys may not know yet, but Delavega will take any underhanded advantage he can get in a fight. So I think it makes a lot of sense for his character. But being ambidextrous is certainly an advantage there.
Yeah, so they can fight left-handed to counter the advantage he would have for going against a right-hander, but you still need different tactics because the right-handers are what you're used to.
Cool.
So he'll say he's a dirty fighter. He fights left-handed. You have to keep these guards in mind.
As we get fancy with the fencing lore.
I know. My dad was like a tournament fencer. I think he took fencing in college or something. So I know like 2 things about fencing. But hey, if they apply, take them.
Well, the third thing would be if we were doing German style fencing instead of Italian, but we'd probably be doing Italian style here.
What's the third thing?
German style is where you start standing back to back, and since this is the first touch, what happens is that people whip around and throw the sword at somebody's face. Whoa. Which is why all the stereotypical German bad guys have dueling scars on their faces.
I feel like that happened in a James Bond movie, not one of the good ones, but I feel like there was a fencing scene and someone did like chuck the sword.
Yeah, in German it's called Schlager.
Huh.
I read a book by a sword master who had participated in Schlager matches.
Now, Connor, you fight with a saber, right?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, you have to get up close and personal. The rapiers just get ridiculously longer and longer because if you're dueling to first blood, then, the longer your sword is, the further away you have to be. Plus, also, this is the time period where when you stab somebody, they die because what are organs, really?
Yeah.
So
and I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know if you're really do you fence with long swords? Would there be precedent for them both using
Well, this is a
sabers?
tournament fair fight. It'd be whatever large stick of wood best represents what people like to use normally.
Yeah, you can
use any sword with a fencing weapon.
Plus, also, they don't usually let you in with your own weapons. Usually they substitute wooden weapons that are fakes. You could, of course, bring your own wooden weapons because you are a rich noble who can afford just to make replicas of weapons, right?
And yeah, I like that. Constantly shift to his blind side. Cool. Well, so we're out of time for today. So that's where we're going to end things with the Levere brothers swapping strategies on how best to survive the fight with Delavega in the morning. But before we go, we're going to recap. We're going to talk about our goals and talk about our personalities and mottos. Let's start with the goals all together now.
Hey.
You guys did complete the goal of stopping or ceasing the activities of the Blue Dragon gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we get for that?
For that, you're never allowed in Pine Cliff again because everyone hates you.
Well, that's
isn't
true,
a
but
gift.
you get a gift for that.
Infamy. I see.
The Gift of Infamy. Actually, that's a pretty cool.
Well, there is
actually a
no
In Urban
technical.
Jungle, it would be a negative opinion die. So
There is no technical gift of infamy. You could just give us Insider with the Blue Dragons, which is a useless gift, in which case Harmon would automatically sell it back for 5 experience points, since we have intimate details of the gang now.
It's true. And if you decided you wanted to keep it, maybe it could be like, hey, we killed your master, so now we're the bosses. That'd be kind of cool, but...
Well, it would be a useful gift if you wanted to get stuff imported from Zhonggao.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do that then. Insider with the Blue Dragons.
I'm selling that off personally. Only got room for one crime gang to be my friend.
Sold back.
Well, if you want to buy any martial arts, you technically need an insider to be able to buy any of the secret martial arts of the Jade. So you might need that.
All my arts are martial.
Well,
I mean,
special martial
technically,
arts.
Martial arts in the modern day usually refers to stuff like kung fu and karate, but technically martial arts also includes, fencing and all the other weapon trainings that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah, it just depends on if Harmon is actually going to pick up any of that. Which, I guess not.
Oh, yeah, and I know no fear and serve with joy. So
Yes.
I
was going to
did live
say.
up to my personal motto.
Yeah, I think everyone more or less did.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any examples of people acting outside their mottos this week, so that's an experience point for that, an experience point for the session. You guys got that gift, and just to refresh, currently have 2 goals, right? Which is return Arthur unharmed to Fermarouge and to win the tournament.
That's right.
Right. Cool. Okay. And okay, yeah, I think that's everything for today. So yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep. Catch you next time, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for playing. Have fun on your next games.